Welcome to the Helping Writers Become Authors podcast. I'm KM Weiland, and I am here to take you deep with story theory, writing techniques, and the incredible wisdom of story. I believe story is the greatest power on this earth, and that as writers, we carry the torch of wielding that power with responsibility, passion, and skill. There's no such thing as just a story. Today, it is my honor and my purpose to help you write your best story, astound the world, and maybe change your life. Hello and welcome. You are listening to Season 16, Episode 40, The 5 Gift Rule for Writers at Christmas. Christmas gifts are one of my favorite traditions, and so is this yearly roundup of gifts for writers at Christmas. Sometimes, however, it can be difficult to balance the joy of giving with the desire to give mindfully and sustainably. Although I used to love browsing the internet for fun and silly writer-themed gifts that I could share with you all in these episodes, at a certain point, I eventually felt that approach was out of integrity with how I try to live my own life and choose my own Christmas gifts for my loved ones. Over the last few years, you may remember I've shared some sustainable themed Christmas gifts for writers episodes, including 17 eco-friendly gifts for writers, the 10 best books to buy a writer for Christmas, the best Christmas gifts I ever received, and digital Christmas gifts for writers. So you can check those episodes out for more ideas if you want. This year, while searching for gifts for my nieces and nephews, I ran on to the clever 5 gift rule. Since I, quite obviously, adore rule-based systems that simplify planning processes, this got me quite excited. I decided to adapt it for this year's Christmas Gifts for Writers post. The 5 gift rule suggests a limit of 5 varied gifts per person based on the following little ditty: something they want, something they need, something to wear, something to read, something to do. So today, I'm conjuring my imaginary writer friend, who looks like a Picasso conglomeration of me and all of you, and choosing the 5-ish gifts I'd love to give all of you this Christmas. Perhaps you'll find just the right gift for your best writing bud, or a little something to add to your Santa list, since I know you've been nice this year, yeah? All right, gift number 1, something writers want. Everyone wants something a little different, and sometimes one writer's want is another writer's need, and vice versa. But since the essence of this gift is a splurge, I'm picking something that's just so beautiful it makes you want to purr. After all, most writers are all about the aesthetic. For sheer luxury and pampering, my gift suggestion is a writing box or tote from Galen Leather Company, which you can find on their website or on Etsy. They gifted me a writer's medicine bag a few years ago for an unboxing video, and I still feel incredibly writerly whenever I pull it out. And in searching their store today, I found an incredibly beautiful portable writing box that jumped out at me. So that's my suggestion. Gift number 2, something writers need. In truth, a writer's needs are pretty small. A notebook, a pen, and some time to ourselves is all we really need. But if you're on the path to independent publication, you'll need a top-notch cover too. Depending on my needs, I use and recommend 2 different book cover companies. DeMonza has created most of my covers, including all of my nonfiction covers. And in the last few years, I've commissioned ebook Launch to redesign a couple of my novel covers, and I've been thrilled with the results. And if you know a writer who isn't quite ready to publish their book, I can guarantee nothing would make a more delightful and thoughtful gift than a custom commissioned cover. Gift number 3, something writers can wear. A good cotton t-shirt goes with anything, offers a good conversation starter, maybe even an opportunity to tell others about your book, and might even turn into your lucky writing shirt. A few of my faves right now are shirts that say, "That's what I do. I write and I know things." And in my author era, I also liked "Do the Right Thing," spelled W-R-I-T-E. And maybe my favorite that I found was a picture of the moon, and it says, "I am a writer, I dream while awake." Gift number 4, something writers can read. Honestly, this gift could just be the whole list, you know? There are just so many great books for writers, not just writing how-to or marketing how-to, but all the stories too. A few years ago, I shared my definitive list of books to buy writers for Christmas. And this year, I'm sharing my most recent favorite, which I absolutely devoured and enjoyed from beginning to end, not just for its story wisdom, but for its life wisdom. And that is The Anatomy of Genres by John Truby. But as I say that, it makes me think of another long-term favorite that I didn't include in that apparently not so definitive list a few years ago. This oldie but goodie gets equal props for speaking to a larger purpose than simply that of writing an amazing story, which it does as well. And it inspired an episode from a few years back called A Challenge to Write Life-Changing Fiction. And this is the book, The Emotional Craft of Fiction by Donald Mass. And then, of course, there's always a few books which listeners of this podcast might already be familiar with, which are my own books, such as outlining your novel, structuring your novel, creating character arcs, writing archetypal character arcs, and my brand new book this year, Next Level Plot Structure. And I'll just mention that today, which is December 2nd, 2024, Cyber Monday, is the last official day of my site-wide 25% off Black Friday sale. So if you're interested, now's the time to check them out. And gift number 5, something writers can do. Naturally, the most important thing writers do is write. So why not give the gift of a fun contest entry? Amanda Scotland, co-host of the Not Quite Right podcast, suggested their flash fiction contest for my Christmas Gifts for Writers post, and I thought it fit perfectly this year. The Not Quite Right prize for flash fiction looks like a creative and inspiring opportunity to challenge your storytelling skills and break a few writing rules. With its unique format, this competition invites writers to craft up to 500 words in just 60 hours using 2 prompts and 1 anti-prompt for an exciting twist. You can also gain or gift access to an exclusive lounge with members-only content and a vibrant community. Winners enjoy cash prizes, podcast features, and even anthology publications. Gift cards are available to cover entry fees and critique upgrades. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this short, fun episode. If you're interested in any of the things I mentioned, I've got links in the transcript, which you can find on my site at helpingwritersbecomeauthors.com. And may you have as much fun giving as receiving this Christmas, and may Santa fill your stocking with just what you want and need and wear and read and do. Merry Christmas. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Helping Writers Become Authors. I hope you'll stop by the site for a full transcript of this episode and to join in the conversation in the comments. Tune in for next week's episode, where we'll continue to explore all things writing and storytelling. If you'd like to support the podcast, it always means a ton when you take a moment to leave a quick rating or review on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, or Spotify. To stay updated on all the latest content I create for you, the best way is to join my mailing list at helpingwritersbecomeauthors.com/mailing list. You'll also immediately gain access to lots of free resources, including my books, Crafting Unforgettable Characters and 5 Secrets of Story Structure. For real-time connection with me, more writing advice, and behind-the-scenes glimpses, follow me on Instagram at authorkmwyland. A heartfelt thank you to each one of you for your support and enthusiasm, and especially those of you who support my work on patreon.com/kmwyland. You help make my site, this podcast, and so many other resources available to writers everywhere. So until next week, keep writing, keep dreaming, and most importantly, keep being true to your stories. Thank you for being part of Helping Writers Become Authors.